Smile like you mean it. Take a nice deep breath in with me. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Hold it. Again, one more nice deep breath. Hold it. All right, let's get down to business. So, shout out to Elon Musk. You made me use my brain, Elon Musk. You made me use my brain. Elon Musk has a question. Brothers and sisters, if you haven't seen my videos about how we live in a simulated reality, well, check them out. We live in a simulation. Now, I love Elon Musk. I have the utmost respect for you, sir. You are my icon. I want to be just like you when I grow up. As a matter of fact, I do. And so he asked a very important question. What is that? But I know the answer to this question. At least I'm pretty sure I do. And it's quite obvious. Now, first of all, we got to do a little comparison. Man and machine. Okay? So we're in a simulation. We have machine and we have man. How do we know we're not just a machine? Now, hear me out on this. Our brains are what? Like a computer? They're supercomputers, as a matter of fact. They can do things that computers cannot do. All right? Now, all of a sudden, computers are being able to do the same thing that we can do. Being in the simulation, you get reincarnated. Your soul goes up, your soul comes down. Without death, there would be no life. Okay? Without death, there would be no life. So, my answer is, what is outside of the simulation? Wait for it. Computers. That is what is outside of the simulation. Computers. Okay? And what kind of computers? I mean, badass computers. So think of how if you ever seen a room, like in my title, you see it in my title, full of computers basically collecting data. Well, that's what it looks like on the outside of the simulation, in theory. Now, when you realize that life and death are basically the same thing, in a sense, there's not much of a difference between life and death. Now, why do I say this? Because you have the death and the rebirth. See, I was born again. I've had 3 rebirths. But what does that mean? Well, I'm part of something that you have to go through the experience of an ego death in order to find your real self. It's almost like the Matrix, right? So the Matrix explains the simulations. Now, if you are smart and you're smart enough to crack the code, which I did, you can be rich. You can be wealthy beyond measure. I'm already wealthy beyond measure. But you can be wealthy beyond measure. If you can crack this code, I'm going to explain the code, but I'm not giving you it. I'm not handing over this code. It starts like this. If you look around, now I have synesthesia. What is synesthesia? Sounds, I can see colors when I hear a sound. When I look at, 1 is white, 2 is green, 3 is black, 4 is yellow, 5 is blue, 6 is red, 7 is purple, 8 is yellow, 9 is red, 10 is white, 11 is white, 12 is orange. So I didn't just come up with that in my head. That's synesthesia. They say it's a superpower. So I can see how everything works. But once you crack the code, you realize, I realize what's going on. Once you crack this code, brothers and sisters, if you're able to crack the code, you're gonna realize that things are not what they seem on this earth, okay? So right now I'm looking at the water, okay? Watch this, the ripple effect, right? So I go like this, and I splash, right? You see these little ripples? They're perfect. That's how you know we're in a simulation. See those ripples? Look, look, look. That's how you know we're in a perfect simulated world. There's no flaw. There is glitches in it. I've seen a couple glitches in it, okay? But also, what does that mean, the ripples? For me. Now, I see ripples going that way, right? And coming this way, I see more ripples. But what I don't see ripples. I see ones and zeros. I see binary, okay? Now, the code. What is the code? I'm going to explain the code briefly. It's really hard to explain. When you look at cars, okay? I'll give one of these away. I can't give enough. Can't give that much up. Okay, so an Audi car has 4 or 5 rings, right, together. Don't look at, this is just a tip if you really want to figure out how the world really works. Don't look at the rings, count them, all right? And then look at the number and see which way the number is pointing. That right there is a dead giveaway for anybody that out there is smart enough to figure out the code. Now, for me to figure out the code of the simulation, I had to cross country. But when I really understood the code is when I came back from crossing the country. I know things, brothers and sisters, that it would probably take a normal person lifetimes to figure it out. Now, again, back to what Elon Musk's question is, what is outside the simulation? It's a computer system. It's data. So, we're stuck in a simulation. I've been thinking about this. Stay with me here. Now we're making more simulations, but what CERN is trying to do is actually figure out a way out of the simulation, because this is what I believe happened. I believe humankind, or if we were even humans, well, I believe we were, in the other simulation, okay, or extraterrestrials. I mean, there's so many extraterrestrials above and beyond that we can't see, okay? They're every. The universe is teeming with life. There's life everywhere in this universe, okay? So they know things, okay? But every once in a while I get these downloads, okay? And the first time I got it, it didn't scare me. I was just like, Jesus, we are obviously aliens made us, holy shit. Hence the Petri dish and the Garden of Eden. But outside the simulation, I'll state it again, it's all it is almost like a D-wave computer. It's all physics, man. And if they wanted to, they can change one little perk. That's why I think we do have deja vu. I think whoever came up with the idea of the reason why we get deja vu is because something was tweaked in the matrix that we live in. I think that could be true. I don't know why we get it. My understanding of it is probably because in another life we remember exactly being there. Because if we have lived so many lifetimes on this earth and in this simulation, going through death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth, then where haven't we been? Okay? Speaking from a standpoint, from a soul, we are infinite beings on infinite timelines, okay? That means there's a you. Think of it like this, okay? You have a book full of blank pages, okay, and it's shut. You can open it up and you can decide who you want to be. All you gotta do is write it down, jot it down, and you can decide. This is what the 5th dimension is. A lot of people are gonna be, but it's the love frequency also. You can choose who you want to be in this world right now, okay? That is how we have made it to the 5th dimension. And I read about this shift about 10 years ago that was coming. Well, the starting of the winter solstice, this is it. This is the great shift. And brothers and sisters, welcome. December 21st is the beginning of the great shift. With that said, if you want to know what's outside the simulation, Elon Musk, this is for you, my brother. It's all computers, man. How different are we really from computers? We're not that different. Not at all. We're just biological. They're immortal. We are computers. That's what we are. So when you fuse together that line between being biological and computers, you make immortality. Brothers and sisters, some of us are going to make it, and we're going to be immortal. And one of them's going to be me. But with that said, that's how you know, if you really want to know what's outside of the Matrix, it's just a bunch of computers and data, and it's a civilization. It's a very, very ancient civilization that we put ourselves in. But that's who we were, because how else would we be here? They didn't create us, we created ourselves. Now we need to figure out a way out of the Matrix so we don't have to keep reincarnating in and back and out. That's just what it is. Or we need to figure out, which I believe they're working on it right now, when we do come back, who we were in the past life, so we can learn from our past lives, if that makes sense. Brothers and sisters, with that said, I want to give my thanks and praise to the universe specifically right now. I want to give my thanks and praise to Elon Musk for helping me think about the puzzle that I solved. I'm very proud of myself for figuring it out. And I also want to give my thanks and praises to God. And my thanks and praises to all my viewers. Thanks for watching. Peace be with you. Have a wonderful evening, or day, or night.